Hello, Aquarius, my loves. I apologize for the delay, but we had some interruption with the internet structure situation and repairs had to be done way down the line. So things were a bit delayed. But I'm happy to say I have a lovely reading for you tonight. Now, the first thing that I see is bird, and it's a sparrowhawk. And I wasn't familiar with a sparrowhawk. So I looked it up, and it basically it's about the size of a dove. Of a pigeon. It is a bird of prey, but it's a small bird of prey. And it's considered to be, spiritually speaking, the heart of the warrior, because they are small, but they're warrior little birds. And they represent, what did it say here? I like that. Strength, hope, clear vision, resilience. And I think this fits so well because what you've got here is you've got structure. And structure being something that I feel is really relevant to you because the first card you get is pleasure. Now, we've talked about this theme, which I do remember because it's been so consistent, is you moving towards the things in your life that really bring you joy. And that in doing that, you bring the world joy. And what I'm getting here with this, so I got a sparrowhawk, but then I got a crow. And then I got some other birds coming in. And it's like, okay, this is pay attention to the birds. And what happened at that moment was I got this energy at my back, and it was the guides saying that the birds are symbolic of your guides as messengers, the angels, the guides coming to you. The reason they're coming as birds now is because it's still air related, it's still connected. I didn't put two and two together at first with Aquarian and air, but here we go. So the birds being as messengers and indicators, what they're telling me of things that you are going to be brought. In some ways, it's going to just be inspiration, but start looking for tangible things, because what I saw was a crow bringing you a treasure. So what I feel is going to start happening is the things that you've been wanting by creating a structure for that. So the structure might now only be, for example, a business plan or a travel plan or an education plan, whatever it is, but a plan where you can see something that you can move into with your idea, okay? With this idea of expansion and growth, whatever it is, and pleasure. You're also being asked, check out other structures in your life that you have found to eventually be burdensome or too restrictive. And look at what you were thinking, what you were doing, what was your motivation for being in that particular structure? How did you create that? Was it the structure itself that you created? Was it your attitude about how you existed within the structure? And look at what some of those patterns were that kept it from being really pleasurable. Now keep in mind, pleasure is sometimes it's associated with being frivolous. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, in what ways did you perhaps find that you had to work too hard or struggle at something so that the pleasure was gone out of it, and why? What did that serve you? What did that prove? Who did it prove it to? So I'm looking at that because really now what it's saying, oh, okay, so probably some kind of fear that was associated with that. But what we also know is now, no, this is pleasure and love. So whether or not this is about a relationship, for me, it's about experiencing that sense of love from your heart, which doesn't have to be to another person, from another person. It's an experience of the energy of love that is totally pleasurable, no matter what you're doing. And it can be brought to anything. So when you were creating the structure, Pay attention. Does it carry the element of pleasure? Does it carry that expansive quality of love? Is it something that's going to bring you joy? And look at that. When you find yourself starting to go into the old mode of handling this wonderful new lovely lively project with the old way, check in and say, oh, okay, am I going into the old pattern here? And why? And how can I get out of it? Because this is all part of, yes, ability to respond. When you take on new things, sometimes we have the idea that it becomes a burden. Whereas when we redefine responsibility, as they do in A Course in Miracles, it's the ability to respond. So whatever task we take on, whatever new adventure we take on, we have the ability to respond differently than we might have from the past. So take a look at that and pay attention. But now again, I'm getting the bites. Please pay attention. Again, Spirit is saying, pay attention to the things that are being brought to you, because now you are going to start. For those of you who've already started creating the structure in your mind, this idea that you're building on, it doesn't have to be complete, but you have a starting point that you're building with. And it may still just be a feeling. It may not actually have a tangible, concrete form yet. Whatever it is, whatever stage you're at, start paying attention to synchronicities, to the messages coming through in your dreams. And for those of you who are already working towards a structure you've got formulated in your mind for a plan, start looking for earthly things that are going to start coming to you, that you are going to be made aware of, that is just going to present itself in a perfect way. So it might be you want to open a store and you don't have a location, and then all of a sudden somebody walks in to have coffee with you and says, boy, did you hear about that place down the road? Yeah, it's going up for rent. Oh, really? It's going up for rent? How about that? Or somebody might offer you the space in the front of their house, or it could be any number of things. And it might be also, for example, if you're setting up a new house or a new office, all of a sudden you just stumble into this perfect piece of furniture that sets exactly the right tone you want for your yoga studio or your whatever, okay? So concrete things. I'm rambling with lots of exercises, but it's because it's very exciting, because I feel as though you're being told you are not only going to be given inspiration, information, direction, guidance, but you're going to actually start seeing things manifest physically, tangibly in some way. I love it. Aquarius, this is wonderful. I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to go now and play with my cat. Good night.